YouTube subscribers. Well, subscribe already. Hit the fucking like button and subscribe before I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
UFC Vegas 275 live from Singapore. Singapore of all places. You know, I thought they'd probably go back to like Abu Dhabi or, you know, somewhere else. So this is interesting. Should be fun though. Not a lot of... I don't think it's a deep card. I think there's some good fights on the main card. Obviously, the main event I'm super excited for. Obviously, the Weili rematch with Joanna. That should be good. I don't expect to be as fireworks as the first one, which I'll be getting into. But like always, I'll be getting over the main card. Be going over the main card for you guys. Top heavy card in my opinion. Breaking down the fights, free picks, leans, and maybe what to avoid. I already have a few client plays locked and loaded. Just got to wait for the weigh-ins. Make sure everything is good there, guys. Systemsportscapping.com. Systemsportscapping.com to become a client today. Start profiting on all sports. I don't just handicap UFC like some people out there that are just limited to handicapping one sport. We profit and handicap anywhere from 5 to 7 sports, depending on obviously the volume and when sports are on. Sports betting's huge right now. All you see on TV, anytime you're watching a game, it's just sports betting. Why not start enjoying it and start profiting while you watch the game? Start profiting long term. That's what we do over here at System Capping. Social media platforms, guys. Please give me a follow. Trying to grow it as much as possible. Instagram, Twitter, System Capping. You're going to see free picks there. You're going to see updated weekly records. You're going to see sports betting news. And you're going to see sports updates in general. Give me a follow. I do think I'm a great follow over there on the social medias. Like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, guys. It only takes you a second to do so. So it is much appreciated. UFC Vegas 56 recap. Let's do the recap, and it was a good card. Another good card for myself, clients, and video viewers as well. Hopefully you did tail some of the free picks that I gave out, leans, etc. 4-1 client card for myself and clients. Only loss was Blanchfield. Blanchfield won the fight, but I had her by decision. I did not see her winning by submission. A little surprising to say the least. And she was actually, that first round was close. She may have lost that first round, but she was coming on in the second. She probably would have stole it by decision if she won the second or third round. But yeah, she found the sub, so definitely impressive. She's a girl to watch, Blanchfield. It seems well-rounded. Her striking's improving, so watch out for that. I was all over Evolov by decision. You get a much better price. I got it at minus 150. I usually don't like laying that much, but it was a good spot for him, and he only wins by decisions, guys. Let's be honest. I had him also in a 2-fight parlay, 2-team parlay. I had him with the Warriors. I was heavy on the Warriors in that game. As well as game 2. Great spot for them there. We also had Audie Osborne. Great first round finish. Very impressive. As you can see here. I thought he would maybe try to wrestle. I know he's very aggressive. He likes to strike, but that was his opponent's strength, was striking. But he looked quicker. He's a dangerous guy. He's a very dangerous guy. He likes to finish fights, so watch out for him. Watch out for Audie Osborne. He seems like he's getting better and better. He had that loss to Cap. He got that flying knee, but I do think he improved from that, and I definitely should watch out. You guys should definitely look out for him moving forward. Give you guys also, I leaned on Volkov. Hopefully you tailed me there on Volkov. We also hit a big ticket winner on Silva. We had Silva plus 460 by submission. I mentioned it on the video. Hopefully you guys jumped on that, but it was a client play at plus 460 by submission. And I saw the path. For her by submission. Why? She had 5 subs. She was stronger and able to get the fight to the ground. And her opponent was sub before. So when you see things like that, it's a good value at plus 460 to take a chance. Obviously not a big play. You're not going to do a full unit play on that, but you're going to profit a ton, so you don't have to. You could do smaller units and take chances on it. I don't do a ton of them. but I'm going to start looking for where I can find some value. Anything over plus 400 is worth a look sometimes, especially in women's MMA. Anything can happen. Nice win for Volkov. I didn't see a first-round finish. I don't think most people did. I thought maybe I leaned Volkov. Didn't love the price, but I thought maybe it would go a little later in the fight, but hopefully you guys did jump on Volkov there. Wasn't a client play, wasn't a personal play, but I did give it out in the video. I always like to try to give something out for the main event. Weekly update, guys. Let's get into the weekly update. Bear with me here. Weekly update, UFC. UFC is 103 and 54 long term, guys. Very long term here. That's 66%. All fights. 47 and 18 shorter term runs. 72%, guys. 72%. Loving the runs in the UFC right now. Over 54 units in profit long term. PGA. Good week last week. We're at plus 68.6 units. In the prop market long term. 2 outrights the last 7 events. 3 big ticket winners the last 6 events. Big ticket winners are over plus 400. Anything over plus 400 is a big ticket winner, which I like to do in all sports. And obviously those are huge gets. Obviously smaller units. NHL, 40 and 15 run, guys, in the NHL, 73%. This is long term now. I don't bet heavy in NHL. I'm lower volume, so 40 and 15 run is long term. And playoffs, 13 and 5 in the playoffs, guys. 66% regular season. NBA, 66% regular season. Obviously the playoffs, not as good, but we're just profitable now at 13 and 10. Let's get the NFL reminder for you guys, and I can't wait for the NFL season coming up. I cannot wait. Here's a little reminder. Let's hear from my friend Meredith before we get into this card.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Like I always stress, guys, shop around for the best price. Have multiple books. That's some of the best advice I can give you. Try to get the best line. Have accounts on 4, 5, 6, 7 different books. Shop around. Shop around for the best price. This isn't the best price that I'm showing you here. It is just a standard online price. Main event. I am excited for this main event. Just for a few reasons, which I'll be going over here. Glover Teixeira, plus 170 versus Yuri Prochazka, minus 200. Yes, unfortunately, no love for Glover once again. No love for Glover once again. But like I mentioned, I'm excited to see how this one plays out, guys. You know, I don't agree with the line at minus 200. I always like to talk about lines and why I disagree and or agree in some cases. And, you know, minus 200 for Yuri is a bit steep. And obviously there's going to be value with Glover. So Glover bettors, you know, great value here at plus 170. You know, definitely value with the champ. And he just doesn't get respected on the lines. You know, not often do you see a champ at this big of an underdog. You don't see that quite often. I'm sure there's been times, but you don't see that here. And it's just no love for Glover in the books and in the MMA community. I get he's 42, but he has the experience. He looks better than ever. He saw it against Jan. The resume is obviously a lot better than Prochazka. He hasn't proved it as of yet. He does have a couple nice wins, of course, but Glover's been just proven it time and time again. And when will this 42-year-old age of his catch up, right? You know, however, with Yuri, you know, he to me, he just feels like a special fighter. There's just something about the guy. Very difficult to fight against due to his awkwardness, karate style, and his movement. It's just he comes at you at a lot different angles. He has power too in his awkward strikes, spinning elbows, high kicks, roundhouses, etc. Everything's coming from different angles. Right? He's not just coming at you and trying to throw punches. He's trying to throw everything but the kitchen sink. And he'll be very difficult to fight if Glover decides to stand and bang with him. And that's not going to be his path here, right? His path, Glover's path, especially at his age, is going to be to try to get this fight to the ground. You don't want to stand with Yuri with this awkward style. It's going to be very difficult to stand and bang with Yuri. Remember, Glover doesn't have the best chin. We've seen him rocked a bunch of times in his career. So getting hit by Yuri with a spinning elbow or a shot coming in from a weird angle is not going to be Glover's path here. Yuri is going to be the better striker, better martial artist on the feet. So Glover's path is going to be to try to get this fight to the ground. And that's the big question here. That's why I don't love the main event. That's why it most likely will not get my money due to the pricing. And if it does get my money, it's going to be more, fight not to go the distance, which I'll discuss shortly here. But that's going to be Glover's path. Get this fight to the ground. You do have the advantage in the wrestling, and you do have the advantage with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? We don't know what Yuri's really credentials are on the ground and his wrestling and his takedown defense. We haven't seen it a ton. Like I've seen it in his older fights outside of the UFC, right? Inside of the UFC, there'll be zero. outside of the UFC, yeah, I've seen him get taken down in a couple fights, but nothing too much. And it's not like Glover's some takedown artist or some really good wrestler. But if he gets you to the ground and gets you in there, he's going to be hard to get up. So it's tough to say, and I can't go all in at this price on Yuri, even though I am leaning Yuri for the video purposes, just due to his awkwardness and his striking. It's just very impressive, and I just don't think Glover can really hurt him on the feet. But if he's able to get this fight to the ground, I do think he has an advantage there, and he can kind of find a sub or some type of ground and pound finish. I haven't seen enough from Yuri with his takedown defense and his grappling to be confident to bet this line with Yuri. I'm going to lean Yuri for video purposes. And if you want to cut down the price, you're going to have to look at the finish, right? The TKO, KO finish. You're going to cut it down a little bit, but it's minus 150, so it's still not great, right? Minus 150 is not something that you want to bet a ton on the outcome. But here, this fight's not going 5. I'm fairly confident with that. That's my best play I'm going to give it. Sure, it's minus 450, minus 500. It's not a great play. If you can fit in a 2-fight parlay, go for it. This fight is not going all 5 rounds. There's no way. There's no way this fight's going all 5 rounds. I would be shocked if it does. So if you do like Yuri, take it by finish. If you do like Glover, take him by finish. You can even get a much better price than the plus 170. And if you want to sink Glover's path, it could be a submission. It could be a submission where you can get even better, right? I'm sure you're going to get that in the plus 400s or more. I haven't looked at that as of yet, but if you do like Glover, take it by finish. This fight's not going all 5. Very difficult to see this fight going all 5. Just because the power from Yuri, and if he does connect and it does stay on the feet, he'll finish it on the feet. Glover, if it gets to the ground, he's going to finish it by a sub. I don't see... Like, the only way this fight goes 5 is if somehow Glover is able to control him on the ground in top position and doesn't find a submission. It's tough to see that. I think Yuri's going to be able to get up if that is the path. Glover's 42 years old. He's not trying to fight 5 rounds. And Yuri's style doesn't allow him to fight 5 rounds. It's an all-in, I'm going to knock you out type finish. So that's going to be my favorite play in this fight. Fight not to go the distance. I'm going to try to fit in a 2-fight parlay if it's capable. I'm seeing minus 450, minus 500 out there. I don't like betting those. If I can get it with a lower price guy that I like in the minuses, I can fit it in there and still maybe get plus money. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, if you're going to bet this fight, my lean for the video is Yuri and by finish. And obviously my favorite play in this fight's fight not to go the distance. I'm excited to see how this one goes and see how good Yuri's takedown defense. You can't tell by training. You can't tell what he's really working on. I'm sure he's working on wrestling, but most of his training videos are striking. So we're going to have to see. But I'm definitely excited for this main event. Shevchenko, co-main event, Shevchenko minus 625 versus Santos plus 450. Another Shevchenko high-price fight, which is hard to bet, right? At least this isn't a minus 1,000. There's no minus 1,000 here. And like we've seen before, we've seen minus 1,200 at one point for Shevchenko, and for good reason, right? Santos, I think, could be her toughest fight yet. It could be her toughest fight yet. Santos, very well-rounded, strong, very strong girl, and I do think she could give Valentina a good fight compared to her other opponents. Santos can grapple. She can wrestle a little bit. Her striking's decent. However, obviously Shevchenko, pretty much everywhere. Maybe I would give Santos a strength advantage. Maybe her jiu-jitsu. But wrestling, I think Shevchenko can wrestle and get Santos down, but will it be the path? I think the path, obviously, eventually for Shevchenko, just keep it on the feet. Strike, keep this on the feet. Santos' striking's improving, though. She showed it in the Wood fight. Got her hurt, and then got her to the ground, got the sub. I think Santos, does she have a path to win this fight? No. I think it's at 5%, 10%, very low. If they fought 10 times, I think Shevchenko wins 9. Right? Shevchenko will probably wins 9 of them. Maybe somehow Santos catches her. I think Santos, like I mentioned, could give her a few problems if she's not able to get her to the ground, and if Santos can maybe use her physicality against the cage, similar to Maya. Remember Maya stole that one round with her and got her to the ground and kept her there? If Santos can do some type of game plan like that, I do think she has somewhat of a chance, but there's just not enough meat on the bones at plus 450 to kind of take a chance. If you got it early at like 600 or whatever it was, maybe a small unit play, but it's just hard to bet against Valentina Shevchenko. The only thing you can say is, will she be up for the fight? Yes, she'll be up for this fight. She's not like that, just from what I see from her training and her how focused she is. I don't think she's going to take this fight lightly. Like I mentioned, I think Santos could give her a tough test compared to the other girls. And I do think if you want to cut this line in half and you want to bet on this fight, it's going to have to be Shevchenko in an outcome play. And I lean the decision at plus 120. She's fought five round decisions. Five round decisions, guys, in her UFC career. So take that in consideration. I don't think Santos will be easy to finish. I do think Santos maybe puts up somewhat of a good fight. I could be wrong on that, because we do have to look at Santos' opponents, and let's look at her wins. Let's quickly look at that, guys. Roxanne Modafferi, the gatekeeper of the UFC, now retired. She caught her towards the end of her career. Joanne Wood just is not there mentally anymore, in my opinion. She got married. She had a kid. I think she had a kid. I know she got married. I think it was just married, to be honest. She just doesn't seem focused, Wood, anymore. She got hurt, I know, at one point, too. Didn't seem like she's the same after that. And then wins over, like, Jillian Robertson and Molly McCann. Just middle-tier girls. So she hasn't really beat someone that I was impressed by. Like a big win. So that's something. She hasn't fought a Chukagian or Andrade to get here. She kind of just slipped in here somehow. And the 19-1 is impressive. Don't get me wrong. 19-1 is very impressive no matter who you're fighting. But the competition, it's a big step up, right? So obviously I'm on Valentina here. I think the better price is plus 120 by decision. Sure, she could get a finish. But if you're going to bet this fight, you're not going to bet minus 625. Or minus 650, right? You're going to try to find some value, and I lean the decision at plus 120. That's how I'll be looking here in the over in rounds. But you're going to have to pay a price. Weili versus Jacek, plus 140 for Joanna, minus 160 for Weili. One of the best fights ever we've ever seen. One of the best fights ever. Not just in MMA, in women's MMA. I think in MMA general. It was an unbelievable fight. I don't expect to be as good here. Like the last one, both ladies, took a beating in that fight and probably took a few years off their fighting career. That's how crazy, especially Joanna, right? Joanna, the time off is concerning here, 2 years. She's obviously in great shape, but, she's been traveling the world, enjoying herself. I don't know what to expect from her coming back here. I expect her to be in good shape. I expect this fight to go the distance. The over 2.5 rounds is my favorite bet here. But I'm going to lean Weili. I do think Weili, obviously more active. The couple losses back-to-back to her kryptonite Rose, Reno Rose. She just can't beat Rose for some reason. I do think Weili maybe tries to wrestle, and I think Weili should have tried to wrestle more in those Rose fights. I think that's a path here. She obviously went to go train with Henry Cejudo, but then she moved to Thailand to really get her striking crisp for this fight. I like Weili. I don't think the price is terrible at minus 160. But, Weili by decision, get a better price. Over the 2.5 rounds I like as well. But I don't expect this fight to be a banger like it was. I think it's going to be a little more defensive. I think Weili maybe looks to grapple and wrestle a little bit. So I know Joanna does have good takedown defense, don't get me wrong. She could be offensive too off her back. But I think the fight's still going to be good. Just don't think it's going to be like the first one, because it's not. It's not going to be crazy like that one, even though I do think the fight will be good. I'm leaning Weili here. It hasn't made my client card yet. I want to see the scales. I want to watch a couple more interviews before I release it to my clients. But Weili is going to be the look here in the over 2.5 rounds as of right now. Expect a good fight. I hope it does stay on the feet for the most part, but I think Weili, I did watch some interviews too. Weili said, I want to mix it up. I want to try to mix up some wrestling. Otherwise, it's been a waste to go train with Henry Cejudo. So let's see what happens there. I'm excited for it. Hopefully we get a good fight. Just that layoff. Right, the layoff with Joanna. You know me. You could come back and look even better, but Joanna just following her on Instagram and just traveling and enjoying her life, which she should be, but I just don't know how much she has left after taking all that damage. So keep that in mind. I don't like Weili to lose 3 in a row too. So that'll be my play. I haven't bet it as of yet, but it could sneak onto my card. Monterey plus 190 versus Cop minus 230. After a slow start to Cop's UFC career, he had 2 nice back-to-back wins by finish. First round over. Some good competition as well. Monterey, on the other end, lost 3 in a row coming into this fight. 2 of them have been against solid guys. Roval and Kara France getting the title shot, as you guys heard, maybe. Monterey will be in a do-or-die spot here, which I do like sometimes, guys. And there is some value at plus 190. Monterey should have the grappling and wrestling advantage here. So if he stands and bangs win this fight, I think Cop wins the fight, maybe by finish or a decision. But if Monterey can get this fight to the ground and use his black belt with his grappling, he's a better grappler in this fight, he has a chance at plus 190. Minus 230 in Cop is not something I'll be involved in, even though I'm leaning Cop to win the fight just due to his last 2 impressive performances. It's just you're banking on Monterey and get this fight to the ground and finding a submission or keeping Cop on the ground, right? There's some value there, plus 190. Don't get me wrong. I'm not betting this fight. I'm just going to enjoy it. It's tough to call an outcome here, too. You could see a finish here. Both guys kind of come forward and just scrap it out and bang. So, Monterey's path would be try to wrestle, get this fight to the ground. I don't know if he's going to do that, though. I don't know if he's going to do that. It's hard to gauge. This is a fight I would say pass. This will be my one fight on the card that I would say pass. Just due to the pricing, what if he does this, what if he does that? Is he going to get the fight to the ground? Is he going to find a submission? I'm passing on this fight. Lean Cop, but I won't bet it due to this price. And the main card opener, Jack Della Maddalena, minus 160 versus Amev, plus 135. Lots of hype around the Aussie here. Very impressive striking. Love what I see from his striking. Fun to watch. On the other hand, fun to watch is not what you would define Amiz's fighting style as. He just wants to grapple and hold you against the cage. And, his wrestling takedowns aren't great. His striking's not great. He's not that classic Russian fighter that, oh my God, he's on the card. He's not like that, guys. He's more of a boring style fighter. He's coming off a loss to Danny Roberts, right? I have Jack Della ranked a lot higher than a Danny Roberts. He's a younger, fresh fighter. A lot of hype around him. Minus 160 is not a terrible price. And the Russian fighter here, sure, he can try to grapple, just hold you against the cage, but we see what the judges are. They're not scoring that anymore. The judges aren't scoring that. He did that against Danny Roberts, and the judges didn't give it to him. So even if you're controlling it, like similar to the Holly Holm fight, 10 minutes of control time, it seems like the judges don't care anymore. So watch out for that, because Amev's not going to stand and bang with this guy. This guy is the better striking. And can Amev get this fight to the ground and hold him there? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen enough from his takedown defense for the Aussie to confirm that. But, this may make my card. It hasn't as of yet. Remember, client card gets sent out Friday, sometimes a little earlier if I like something. I'm not going to be worried about weigh-ins. But this fight, guys, yeah, it's a little greasy, but I got to go with the Aussie. Lots of hype around him. I get it. Great striker. Hits hard, impressive. And I do think he can hold off Amev. Amev just tries to make it ugly and hold you against the cage. The judges aren't on that. If this fight does make the decision, I think the Aussie will land the bigger shots, be more active in there with the striking compared to Amev, who just wants to hold you and try to grapple you for 5 rounds. That will do it, guys. That will do it for UFC 275 live from Singapore. I'm excited for the card. I thought that it would be like an afternoon card because of the time, but I guess I don't think it's a big difference in time, or they're working to the U.S. advantage here. So no worries about time here. Like last week, it was an afternoon card, even though it was in the U.S. That will do it, guys. Hopefully you enjoy the card. Like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.